Hello and good day everyone. This is Group Project of Structured Programming and Database TEB2132. In this group project, we have 4 members. First, Ismahani Angelina Azran. Second, Noor Aisyah Noor Mohamad. Third, Milinia Joseph. And lastly, Aeynnatasya Md Sairudin. To our problem statement for project. A metal fabrication company that specializes in producing mechanical equipment will always have lots of different raw materials be used during the production process. Whenever a certain material is used, it must be written into a logbook for proper inventory management of the company. The technical department intends to replace the inventory management method by designing a program that is permitted employees to log in data of the material used. The intended design of the program is as follows. The log-in data will be recorded along with the date and the time of report entry, in which only permitted employees are allowed to access the inventory management program. Second, based on the decision option provided, the user can repeatedly choose which type of material is used, hence input the quantity and weight, until the user has no more data to log into the program. And third, in order to total up the price of the material used, the program should then be able to keep track of the type and amount of material used accordingly. Number 4, the price is as the table below. Number 5, when done, the program displays the cumulative price of each respective type of material logged in, then they generate an inventory report in a text file that contains the price analysis of the materials. Number 6, the report should also display the highest quantity of material used and its corresponding total weight and the type of material. And lastly, on the top of the text file, the report date should be printed based on the time that user logged into the program.
Okay, for the flowchart part, I divide it into 9 parts. The first 9 part is about the options, and then the last part is the main part of the flowchart. So we'll start from the main part. We will start and then we initialize all the variables as you can see here, and then we open the file for txt file, and then we display current times, date, options, all the options that we have, materials, grade, and then we will prompt and get the name of the user. After that, we will prompt and get the options. If the options inserted by the user is less than equal to 0 or option is greater than 9, we will continue this loop here until the user enter the correct options. After that, after user enter the correct options, we will continue to this part, the options part. So as you can see here, if the user enter 1, which is options equal to 1, we will continue to part A. And if user enter options 2, options is equal to 2, we will continue to part B, and then so on, as you can see here. Okay, and now we will look at the options part. So here is the options part. So basically all these options, all 9 options, have the same structure, except different options has different variables and different price of the material per kg. Okay, for example, so generally after the option has been inserted, the program will prompt and get quantity and weight of the material, and then after that it will initialize the material, the grade of the material, and then it will calculate the weight and the price of the material. Okay, and then it will print the material, grade, quantity, weight, and price of the chosen material and all the detail of the material. Okay, for example here, if user enter options equal to 1, the program will ask for the quantity 1, which is quantity for the options 1, and then the weight of the material, and then it will initialize material 1 equal to aluminium, and then the grade 1 is equal to alloy 1100, and then it will calculate the weight 1, which is weight 1 is equal to quantity 1 times weight that has been entered by the user, and then price 1 is equal to weight 1 times 9.81, which is 9.81 is the price per kg of the aluminium alloy 1100. Okay, but and then next here is the example for if user enter options equal to 2. Okay, it will prompt and get quantity 2, and then the weight of the second material, and then it will initialize material 2 is equal to aluminium with the grade 2 is equal to alloy 2024, and then weight 2 is calculated by quantity 2 times weight, and then price 2 is equal to weight 2 times 10.4, which is the price per kg for aluminium alloy 2024. So here, as you can see, this is for options 3, options 4, option 5, option 6, and then option 7, option 8, and lastly option 9 here. Okay, and then we will go to the main flowchart. Okay, after the program has run into each of the option that has been selected, it will ask the user to prompt and get decision. So this decision is to ask the user whether the user want to continue the program or they want to end the program already. Okay, if the user want to continue the program, they need to enter Y, while if the user want to end the program, they will need to enter N. If user enter other than 2 of the character, the program will ask for another choice, another decision, because it is invalid. So basically this is a control error part. Okay, so if the user enter the correct options, correct decision, it will continue to this loop here. Okay, so if user enter Y, which is the user choose to continue the program, it will go to repeat. Repeat means we will go up here. Okay, as you can see here, we will go up here, and then we will get and prompt another options, and then all this program will run again here. Okay, and if user enter N, the program will continue to calculate the total price. As you can see here, total price is equal to all the price of the material has been inserted by the user. So after that, we will initialize the maximum quantity is the first quantity that the user has entered. Okay, and then this part here is to find the maximum quantity. So if there's other material that has higher quantity than the first quantity that the user has entered, it will reinitialize the maximum value. Okay, and then we will print the maximum material and grade into the text file, and then this part here is to find the material of the maximum quantity, while this part here is to find the grade of the maximum quantity material. Okay, after that, in the program we will display the logged in data can be reviewed in report text file. Okay, this part is to tell the user where to find the report, what name of the report, right, that about all the data and all the decision, all the options that they have inserted in the program. Okay, after that we will close the file, which is the txt file, and then the program will end.
Hi, I'm Aisyah. Okay, since my groupmate Milinia has explained the algorithm, so I will just go through with my coding. So first we have to include the library. We have include ctime, which is the header file for current date and time function. We also have include fstream for stream, include vector because we also use vector in this program, include uni std.h. This is for sleep function, which is to delay the screen for a certain time, but this header is for Mac OS only. It's not working if you are using Windows. If for Windows, we have to use include windows.h. Okay, next we declare all the variables. We have integer check option type choice, integer quant 1 until 9, double weight, double total price, price 11, and so on. Char decision note, string user 1, pass 1, grade 1 until 9, stream material 1 until 9, and then we have offstream out file. So we only have one output file, which consists of the details of the user input, and then if stream in file and also as in file. So we have two input in file, which first consists of the information of the username, and then second input in file consists of the information of the stock available in our company. Then we declare all the vector. We have vector quant, vector stream material, and so on. And this one we use array because we thought that the question asked to do vector and array, so we did both. The next part, the program will open user.txt file, and then this line will read the file. We use for loop to get the data from the file and store it into the user, pass, and ID. Next, the user will be asked to enter the username, this one, and then enter the password, this one. So we use for loop to check for the username and password entered by the user. So we use integer I equals 0, I less than 10 because we have only 10 employees in our company. And if the user is equal to the user I and password is equal to the pass I, which is found in the input file, it will become true. And if it's true, the screen will display access granted. But if not, you will get, oops, looks like you don't have the permission. So only if your username and password are correct, then you can proceed with the main program. If not, the program will stop until here. Okay. So in the display screen, after the username and password is correct, and then access granted, and then it will display inventory management program, and this is for to display the current time and current date. And then this is the out file. So all the details will be displayed in the metal dot in the output file, which in this case I renamed it as metal.txt. Okay. And then in the output file, it will display the report date, the user, which is the username, and then the ID. This is for the input file, and then it will display all the details: material grade, quantity, weight, price per kg, and then the total price. And then this one is for the display screen. This is the option that the user have to choose. So here we use do while loop for this program. So as long as the decision, where is it? Sorry. So here. So as long as the decision is equal to y, this loop will be repeated. So for the option, we also add error control. So error control here. So if the user input number less than 0, less than 1, and or option more than 9, this line will be displayed, and it will stop until the user input the correct option. So if the user enter option 1, so here are the lines that belong to option 1. So first we declare here material 1 equals to aluminium, and then we store this into the vector material because we're gonna use it later. That's why we have to store it in the vector. And then the output file, it will display the material 1, and then the user will enter the quantity of the material, and this value will be stored into vector quant, and then the user enter the weight, and this we declare grade 1 equals to alloy 110, and this will be stored into the vector grade, and this is the calculation to calculate the total weight of this material, which is quant 1 times 2 weight, and this value will be stored into the vector t weight, and this is the calculation to calculate the total price of this material. And then in the output file, it will display the grade 1 quantity, the weight of the material, the price for per kg, and also the total price of this material. Same as option 2, the difference is only the grade 2, which is alloy 2024, and also the price of this material for grade alloy 2024. And same goes to option 3, option 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So for example, we take option I. So every time the user input the value until the weight here, the program will display this line: continue, Y for yes, and for no. So as I mentioned earlier, if the user enter Y, it will keep repeating the program. And we also add error control on the decision part. So if the user enter anything else beside Y and N, this line will be displayed in the screen. So it will stop until the user input the correct value. Okay, now we're done with the user input. Okay, next, this is the calculation to calculate the total price of the material that entered by the user. And then in the output file, it will display the total price, the whole total price for the material that entered by the user. And then this part, this one is to open the file stock.txt, which consists of the stock available for each material in the company. And then here is to read the file, and we use for loop to get the data from the input file, which is integer I equal to 0, I less than 9, because we have 9 grades of the material. And here we did the calculation of the stock left for each material. The calculation here is specific for each element of the total stock, because the user will input value for the option that he or she chosen. So that's why we decided to did it separately. Then we use the for loop to display all the materials, grades, and total stocks in the output file. This part is to determine the highest quantity material that the user used. So first, we declare the first element as the maximum, and then we use for loop. So if the quant I is more than maximum equals to quant I, and for example, if the second element for quant is more than the maximum, it will replace this value. So it will replace this value. So it will go over the loop again, and then the output file will display the maximum, highest quantity of the material used, and then this line is to get the total weight of the particular material. So same as above, we use for loop again. So if the quant I equals to max, it will output file, it will display in the output file the total weight of the material, T weight. And then this one is to display the material and the grade, same as above too. So, and then lastly, in the display, it will in the display screen, it will give thank you, the login data can be reviewed in report text file. So output file, close, and then that's all. Thank you.
Well, moving on is the sample program run. So since this program is only permitted for certain employees, we have an input file where it is a list for the users allowed to run this program. So if I enter anyone who is not included in the list, for example myself, then the program would not continue and I cannot continue with the inventory management program. However, if I log in as the permitted users, for instance, let's log in as Randy, where the password is this one, then access is granted and hence I can continue with the inventory management program. So you have a table of options provided, and hence you can just log in data simply by inputting the number. So put the corresponding quantity and respective weight and simply press yes to continue if you have more materials to log in. So this goes into a loop until you have no more data to include. Okay, but if you put a wrong input, for example, I did not put yes or no or a number, then it will prompt you to correct the input and write a proper one instead. So if I want to continue, I have, for instance, like this. Okay, now for instance, we have no more material to log in, hence you simply exit by entering N, and you can check the review in the report text file. So the analyze will be produced as generated here. You have the quantity for each material used, the weight per unit, the price, and the total price here. Also, it is included the total weight stock left because we have read the stock available, which is around 50 tons per material. So whenever a material is used, it will be deducted and hence updated in this report, as you can see here. And also there's an additional analysis on the bottom part here, where the highest quantity of material used would be noted along with its total weight and the material and rate corresponding to that data. And this goes either way, as long as you have the username and the password granted for the program, then you can continue with running the program as usual. Any input error will prompt you to correct an input and hence still execute it as usual. Thank you.